I want you to leave all the comforts of life aside and imagine something extraordinary. If you lived in a troglodyte place like the people of old, exactly what kind of house would you have? Without electricity, plumbing, heating, sewage system, and internet, life may seem difficult to us. However, ancient people saw nature as part of their lives, not just a shelter. They were quite skilled at transforming the natural environment into something habitable for them. If we could see through their eyes, would we feel how different and fascinating life was? In this video series, I will try to explain the harmony of these ancient settlements with the natural environment and the places that still exist in similar conditions. So, let's start with a few examples from this video. Our first stop is the town of Setonal de las Bodegas in Spain. This is quite different from the typical white towns of the Mediterranean. The most striking thing is that many houses are built under huge rock outcrops. The inhabitants of this town, which has a long history, didn't carve their houses directly into the rocks, but simply built a front wall by taking advantage of the cavities of the rocks. The rocks serve as the ceilings and walls of these buildings. For example, part of Shade Street is like a tunnel where giant rocks form a natural ceiling. Some places are built inside caves. Some of the restaurants and tapas bars on Sun Street, for example, are like this and feel like medieval places. Setonal de las Bodegas is also famous for its chorizo, a type of sausage, and its wine. This tourist attraction is thought to date back to the Moorish era. Next is Monsanto, located in the Beira Baixa region of Portugal, just 15.5 miles from the Spanish border, a village that stands out for its architecture integrated with nature. On the slope of a steep hill, the village offers a unique landscape with red-roofed houses built around, under and between huge granite boulders. The granite boulders, which weigh about 200 tons, serve as roofs and walls for the people living here. Some of the houses are completely carved into the rocks, while others are squeezed between the rocks. The shelters in the village are made of granite stones not only for people but also for pigs, chickens, and other animals. In 1938, Monsanto was awarded the title of Portugal's most Portuguese village, and from then on strict restrictions were imposed on building changes. This helped to preserve the historic fabric of the village and turned it into a living museum. Today, although the number of people living in the historic part of the village has decreased, the village continues to attract a lot of attention from tourists. Monsanto, which was created about 500 years ago using granite rocks, is a perfect blend of history and nature. As a local proverb says, in Monsanto you never know whether the house was born from the rock or the rock was born from the house. Now let's continue from France. Castelbauch, located in the Gorges du Tarn region of France, is a small village built in harmony with nature. The village consists of houses clinging to rocky outcrops on the banks of the Tarn River. This settlement of about 20 houses was built taking advantage of the natural protection of the cliffs. Some of the houses lean against the cliffs and are made of natural stone materials. The narrow streets and old stone buildings in the village reveal a lifestyle in harmony with nature. There are also walking paths around the village, and it is a great environment for those who want to enjoy nature. There are also the ruins of a medieval castle above the village, which was destroyed in the 16th century. This castle was once built to protect the village, but was later demolished to prevent it from providing a refuge for Protestants. Legend has it that the village's name comes from the story of a lord who died of exhaustion during the Crusades, adding to the mystique of the village. The houses clinging to the rocks and the natural surroundings already show how integrated the village is with nature. There are many troglodyte habitats in France. For example, Maison Forte de Riegnac in the Dordogne region is a unique structure carved into a cliff, which has been home to many civilizations throughout history. It stands out not only for its architecture but also for its historical and cultural traces. Maison Forte de Riegnac has been inhabited by people since prehistoric times. It is thought that this cliff shelter was used by people for thousands of years and that they built dwellings in the Middle Ages. In 1386, the building known as Chateau Falaise was built and used continuously until 1931. Since 1964, it has been classified as a historical monument. Carved into the rocks, Maison Forte de Riegnac is the only troglodyte cliff fortress in France that remains completely intact. Its facade, set into the cliff, may look small from the outside, but inside it houses large halls, bedrooms, kitchen, chapel, and dungeons. The upper terraces and architectural arrangements are arranged in a medieval style. In the rooms of the Maison Forte de Reignac, visitors can see period furniture, everyday objects, decorations, and weapons and tools used from the Cro-Magnon period to the 20th century. The castle is also home to an international exhibition showcasing instruments of torture dating from the Middle Ages to the present day. The exhibition includes more than 60 authentic instruments, engravings, and paintings that shed light on the terrible history of torture. The aim of the exhibition is to raise awareness about torture practices that continue today. In the hamlet of Grofthal in the commune of Eschborg, France, the Maison de Rochers, whose name means Houses of the Rocks, is a unique example of troglodyte, where nature and history are intertwined. These houses are built in the natural shelters of red sandstone cliffs. The sandstone rocks serve as back walls, ceilings, and floors, while only the facade and roof sections are man-made. Today, the Maison de Rochers houses a museum that presents the stories and lifestyles of the residents who lived here until 1958. The houses are unique in Alsace with their blue facades and primitive interior partitions. Inside, they display furniture, memorabilia from everyday life and objects reflecting the conditions of the time. In addition, in an exhibition space, Frederick Engel's photographic collection, Rocks and People, offers the opportunity to explore the rocks of the Northern Vosges and their interaction with man through different themes. These houses stand out as a bridge between the past and the present, symbolizing the relationship between nature and man, both through their architecture and their touching stories. Next is the story of the Hernandez family, who live under a huge mushroom-shaped prehistoric rock. This is in San Jose de las Piedras, in the Mexican state of Coahuila, just 50 miles from the Texas border. About 60 years ago, when Benito Hernandez was 8 years old, he came to the area to work and saw this rock and began to dream of one day building a home for himself under this huge rock. After getting married, Benito decided to fulfill his childhood dream. Although it took him 20 years to buy the rights to the land, Benito Hernandez and his wife Santa Martha turned it into a home by building a sun-dried 3-room brick house under the rock. Over 16 yards high and weighing 850 tons, the rock serves as both the ceiling and some of the walls of the house. The house has limited electricity but no plumbing or sewage system. The region has a desert climate, but there is a natural spring close to the house. A wood stove is used for heating and cooking. But despite all the modern shortcomings, Benito and Santa raised 7 children in this house. The family, who make a living by cultivating the candelilla plant, say they have lived a poor, humble but happy life in this house for more than 30 years. Benito says that he has been offered many times to sell the house, but that his house is worth more than money. He also adds that the house has become famous in recent years. There is an interesting house built among the rocks in the Serras de Faif region in northern Portugal. Its name is Casa do Penedo, which means rock house in Portuguese. The house is built between 4 large boulders, so the foundation, ceiling, and walls are almost all made of rock. Construction of the house began in 1972 and lasted about 2 years. The architecture of the house is rustic in style and has an antique charm. The interior design features furniture carved from stone and wood. The family who built the house chose to keep the architectural details secret, so the mastermind behind this unique design is unknown. Initially, it was used as a seasonal vacation spot for the family, but its cultural charm has transformed it into a museum open to visitors. Designed with organic materials, Casa do Penedo is an architectural marvel that redefines the relationship between nature and man and reminds us of rustic culture. It is a unique example of human creativity. There is a similar structure in France. Located in the seaside village of Ploumanac'h in the Brittany region of France, Maison du Gouffre is a charming structure set among granite boulders and overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. In perfect harmony with its natural surroundings, this house is both an architectural marvel and a monument to nature. The design of Maison du Gouffre is integrated into the granite cliffs where it is located. The granite walls of the house appear as an extension of the rock on which it is built, creating a structural harmony with the rugged landscape of the area. The slate roof blends effortlessly with the gray tones of the granite, while small windows frame stunning ocean and cliff views. As the house is privately owned, it is unlikely to be seen up close. Although the origins of the Maison du Gouffre are somewhat mysterious, it is thought to have been built in the 19th century as a shelter for the fishermen of the region. It wasn't only the harsh conditions of the cliffs and the sea that determined the shape and location of the house, but also the ingenuity and adaptability of the people. Châteauneuf-sur-Isère is known for its unique troglodyte houses carved into the soft molasse cliffs. These rock houses aren't only dwellings, but also reflect the history and architectural richness of the region. The extraction of molasse, a type of sedimentary rock, began in the Roman period and continued until the early 20th century. The site was chosen for its soft rocks, which are easy to work, and for the abundance of water resources. Over time, it transformed from a quarry site into a unique settlement with hundreds of troglodyte houses. Today, about a dozen houses are still in good condition. Nevertheless, the troglodyte houses in Châteauneuf-sur-Isère and the surrounding area need continuous restoration efforts to preserve its unique historical and geological heritage. On the other hand, there are more luxurious examples of such rustic homes. Rockhouse Retreat in England is one of the most luxurious. Located in Worcestershire, Rockhouse Retreat is described as a 21st century cave house. It is a romantic retreat built inside an ancient cave. It is as elegant on the inside as it is on the outside. The house has a bedroom, living room, kitchen, fireplace, wood-burning stove, underfloor heating, and electricity. Rockhouse Retreat is a very popular place. It was even featured on Channel 4's Great Designs program presented by Kevin MacLeod. There is another luxurious place like this one that offers a lot of comfort. Nestled deep in the Ozark Mountains, Beckham Creek Cave Lodge has a private honeymoon suite for luxurious bedrooms, a fully equipped kitchen, and a spacious living room. Once a secret hideaway for gangs and smugglers, it was transformed by a businessman into a rustic retreat with modern furnishings. It is now available for rent by reservation. Places like caves and under rocks are cheap to make habitable, unlikely to burn, climate-controlled, sheltered, and earthquake-resistant. Nowadays, people prefer to live in such places away from the city and in touch with nature to get away from the crowded and tiring effects of city life, or they choose to use them for short-term getaways. Some places are completely content with what nature provides, while others continue to use the comfort provided by modern technology. This varies according to people's lifestyle, culture, and relationship with nature. However, the rustic and troglodyte style of living is becoming less and less common. As I finish the video, I can't help but wonder a few things. Do you think it is better to live in such places that are close to nature? Is lifestyle more important or comfort? Would you like to live in one of these? Don't forget to subscribe to be informed about new videos and discover the channel.